didn't know the Keebler Elks were starting to hire Hispanics, man, so it's nice to see you on board. Just saying. This next guy is an absolute killer, man. He's a new dad. Let's give it up for Madison Pohl. Come on, guys. Give it up for him.
Welcome, everybody. Happy New Year's, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Woo! New Year's. I'm sure all of us have probably already failed on our New Year's resolutions. I told my wife that I wanted to lose some weight. I told her I wanted to lose 50 pounds this year. And her mouth said, "That's great, hon. I support you. I'll help any way I can." But her eyes said, 50 pounds? You want to lose 50 pounds there, big guy? You want to start with 10 pounds before we start shooting for the half-century mark? How about 5 pounds? Why don't we talk about 5 pounds? You know what? Why don't we just try not to gain 50 pounds this year before we start talking about that? Another resolution I had was I wanted to become a better person. I had my first opportunity the other day at a stoplight. A guy came up to my window and he wanted some money, so I thought, this is my chance. I gave him $5, and the look on his face, he was so appreciative. "Thank you so much, sir. You have no idea what a blessing this is. I'm gonna go home right now and feed my kids." And it hit me with like a ton of emotion, like a brick house. "You have a home, you son of a bitch. You give that back right now." Like John said, I am a new dad. I took my little 5-month-old girl to an appointment the other day. Everything's good. The doctor said her mouth was good, her eyes were good, everything looked good. Then he said that she was the perfect color. Thanks, you racist. It's 2019. I don't know if you heard, but we are not the perfect color anymore. Yeah, obviously as a new dad, I've learned a few things. Like I didn't know that babies could shit out of their nipples. I went to change my daughter the other day. Her entire front was covered in diarrhea. There was nothing in her diaper. It's like a magic trick. Also learned that it actually is possible for my wife and I to have less sex than we were having before the baby got here. But we have set a new record for that. I had my baby a little bit older in life. I just turned 34. When you're growing up, you always hear people talking about how, once you hit your 30s, it all falls apart. And that's true. Once you hit your 30s, things do kind of ache a little bit. You get twitches and pains that you don't really know where they come from. But what they don't tell you is that when you get those pains, there's a little whisper in your voice. Your brain tells you, "Hey, you feel that? That's cancer, bitch." "In my shoulder? Yeah, you have shoulder cancer, bitch." So now my life is basically just my mind battling back and forth whether or not I have cancer. Okay? And you may ask, "Hey Madison, why don't you get medicated for that if it's that bad?" Well, I have. I'm on medication now. I'm on Prozac. Side effects: headache, diarrhea, nausea. All symptoms of cancer. So it's worse than ever. Found out something cool recently. I found out my dad did one of those DNA tests and found out that he's 25% Polish Jew, making me 12.5% Jew. And I told a rabbi this, and he told me that because it wasn't on my mom's side, that I'm actually 0% Jew. Leave it to the Jews to get 12% off on that right there. Yeah. Also found something else about my people, the Jews. They have a very weird ritual. When a baby gets circumcised, it's a pretty rare tradition, but a rabbi will actually suck the little boy's dick to clean it off. It's very weird, yeah. The Catholics actually have a very similar tradition. They wait till the boys are a little bit older in a much more private ceremony. Yeah. I feel like I've talked about myself a lot, so I want to talk to you all a little bit about you. Who here has an STD? Nobody? That's statistically not possible, but we'll move on from that. I feel like STDs have a pretty bad reputation, and some of them I get, like AIDS, that's a pretty bad one. You know, they took away Freddie Mercury, Tom Hanks. I get that one. But like herpes. Herpes, I don't really get that one. Like, what's the worst thing about herpes? It's probably like, I think it would be other people finding out you have herpes.
Yeah.
Right? Because the side effects are like, you know, itchiness, red bumps. That happens every time I shave my balls. It's really not that big of a deal. But I had this friend who, he was engaged to this girl, and she cheated on him, caught herpes, brought it back to him, and he stayed with her and got married to her because he was too ashamed to re-enter the dating pool. Right? And I think that that's wrong. So, my solutions, I'm starting a dating website called herpesharmony.com. And the slogan is going to be herpesharmony.com. Whores with sores just like yours. That's my time. Give it up for John.